Hey everyone, it's Chris from Smithy Finance, and this is your end of day market report for Wednesday, April 9th. So it was exactly a week ago that Trump was making his speech on the tariffs, and we've been in a world of hurt ever since. I mean, it was already tough before, but really tough ever since until today at about 1 o'clock. And, it's kind of a historic moment almost where Trump has now granted a 90-day reprieve to everyone except China. There's an automatic 10% tariff against everyone, and but China's in the penalty box, and I expect they'll make a deal on their own at some point. But wow, what a day. And look, this is not a day to go partying. It's not a day for high fives, just like the bad days are not a day for crying in your beer, right? We have to, as traders, we mostly stay even, but you know, it's a good day if you hung in there. If you added a little bit, the numbers are amazing. So the Dow was up 2,900 points. The S&P 500 was up 9.5%. The Dow was up 8%. NASDAQ up 12%. These are some of the biggest days in history. They say the S&P 500 biggest gain since 2008. It's almost mind-boggling. I mean, we woke up and gold and silver were already doing well. Gold closed up $120. Silver up $1.18. Copper up 29 cents. So these are massive moves that you might never see again in your career. I mean, you might. Things seem to be wild, but I don't want to overstate it. But it's a big freaking day. Crypto. I mean, Bitcoin was up 7%, up 5,600 to 82,200. Still below Friday's close, right? It's 80, which was 84. I mean, that was only a few days ago. It feels like a month, right? This has been a gut-wrenching period of time, even for guys like me who've been in the game forever. You never know for sure. On X, on Twitter, the guys that are negative, they're who are basically always negative, waiting for the implosion of the U.S. dollar and the bonds, and they're shouting and excited, and this is nothing yet. We're going way down. This is the reset. And I have a kind of a quiet voice on X. I'm there a little bit, and I put out a tweet the other day, and it said I'm an optimist always, and it got almost no feedback, no attention. The feeling was so negative. But they were right for a week, right? We had some really bad days. I started buying a little bit on Friday. I bought more on the open Monday, sold a little bit on the open Tuesday before things cratered. And I did not sell much on the open on Tuesday because the movement was muted, to say the least. Remember I said I had those offers. But today, holy crap. So oil, for example, and I've talked about two oil stocks in particular, Baytex, BTE, and Saturn, SOIL. Soil, which I haven't talked about in a week or so, but I did a little piece on that a while back. It's still way down, but this morning, I mean, oil was down $3 and it closes up $3. So 62.5 from 56.5. The movement, once Trump made that announcement, the movement was vertical, and you have no time. This is the thing. This is why you have to buy them when they're shitty, when they're ugly, when you hate them, when it's painful. Because when the turn comes, you can't beat the robots. You cannot beat the programs that are programmed when Trump says tariff relief in the same sentence, those two words, you buy the heck out of it. So it surged before anybody had a chance, or much of a chance, let's say, to buy it. We're probably going higher, judging from this amazing turnaround, and we're probably going higher. 90 days is quite a bit of time. No one's going to freak out until we get within 30 days of the 90-day deadline. So it's probably clear skies ahead. Now I did sell, of course, into this because I was buying the pain. Maybe not as much as I should have, but I bought quite a bit. I hope you bought something or at least didn't sell. And it's a great lesson if you're a younger trader or if you haven't been around that long. It's a great lesson that you've got to have the courage to stand in and be that standing strong tree in the hurricane winds. And that's kind of what we do. We get battered, we hang in there, we make some changes, sell stocks down 5% to buy stocks down 15%, but we survive it, and ultimately we have a day like today. I sold a little bit of sterling, STRL, some Ivanhoe, IVN. That's been really a tough trade, but it was up, I don't know, 15% today. I mean, 15% was almost the average, right? Yeah, Ivan up 15%. The Aya Gold and Silver was up 14%, but off rock bottom. These things can still go way higher. I mean, they can go 20, 30% higher, no problem, over the next little while. And they've both had their own problems, those two stocks, but they've also both announced progress on solving those problems. And anyway, yeah, everything was way higher. Baytex opened at $1.90 Canadian. It closed at $2.54. So 60 cents on $1.90. That's about 30% in one day. This is what the market can do for you. And again, we take a lot of nicks, a lot of hits along the way, but we stay on track. MicroStrategy, or now known as Strategy, up 23%. It got hit hard yesterday, but it came roaring back today from 240 to 300 in one day, closed at 293. Again, the IBIT, the super microcomputer, up 15%. I mean, Delta Airlines, which I've been buying a little bit, and I mentioned it, I know I didn't mention it strongly because, it's scary, right? We're buying these things. But it had a huge move. Good earnings, up 23%. These moves are crazy. If you had a 1 year 23% increase on a stock, you'd think that was amazing. That was great. And here they are doing it in literally a few hours, because prior to that 1 o'clock announcement, there wasn't a lot going on. I mean, some things were moving a little bit. Delta was moving a little bit. Bitcoin was moving a little bit, but it was a rocket ship off that moment. I don't know, what else can I tell you. I think that's probably enough for now. You know what's happened. This really is a great lesson. All of this, and it's exhausting. I mean, it's tough. Even last night, I was thinking, Jesus, man, maybe I should be selling this. Maybe Navarro and has influenced Trump, and these guys are just nuts. They got no clue. But as I've said in the past, in the few videos in the past, that I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that Trump is not an idiot. He's been able to do what he's done in life because he's not an idiot. But he's tough, man. He's tough, and he doesn't care if he's liked or not. Although he was taking a bit of a little bit of a pat on the back today, and rightly so, because if we felt pain, imagine what he was feeling, having caused everybody to lose massive amounts of money. I'm still way below the high that I hit back in December, but I'm way above way above yesterday's close. They talk about being in the market for those 10 days a year where almost all the gains come from, right? You have 10 days where you're up 2% in each of those 10 days, and all the other days are plus or minus. But if you're in the market for those 10 days, you get the wins. If you happen to be out because maybe you were scared and you timed it, you were trying to time it. If you miss those 10 days, then your results really take a hit. So we've got to be in there. You got to have some quality. You got to have courage. Whew. Okay, but enjoy yourself. Don't as a trader, we gotta Remember I told you the story about Bobby Rose? Every day he was losing, 20 grand US a day in 1984, and it was, okay, see you, Christy, see you tomorrow. I mean, it never seemed to bug him. And of course, he made his, multi million wins after that. But he'd also made them before that, given his lifestyle. Anyway, that's all I've got. Whew. That's tiring. I hope you all made it through. The Masters truly does start tomorrow. I'm going to watch a bunch of it and get some workouts in. I compete in a week. Check my fitness channel. I'll talk about that more. Whew. That's it for today. Congratulations for hanging in there. I'll see you in the next one.